Hey YouTube, it's me, Severin. Today I've got another video on Minecraft. Kind of. It's actually more of a video on World Painter. I've decided instead of searching for the perfect world seed, I would just create a perfect world myself. It's going to take a lot of time, but when it's done I plan on doing a pretty epic, long-term survival series inside the world, and we'll get to explore all the things I created together. The world's huge, it's 20,000 blocks by 20,000 blocks. I'll give you a quick little tour of what we've done so far. I'll show you World Painter, the program. I think I want to try to add some boulders to this initial zone. The first zone I decided rocky coast, kind of a plains area, but with World Painter you'll see you can do a lot more detailed stuff that's a little more interesting than the natural generation. I also have a huge cave system underground that all connects. I plan on making some pretty sweet underground dwarven style base. And yeah, let's get into it. So before we hop over to the actual World Painter program, I thought I'd fly around a little bit and show you what we've created so far. I'll hop over to spectator mode so we can zoom. As you can already see, you're able to really sink rivers and streams into the ground and make them seem like more of the environment. I haven't done it here, but if you go further down this river, I've started actually painting the coast. So it almost looks like the edges of the river are, it's like dirt blocks, gravel, that kind of thing that kind of seeps out of the river into the land. You can have rivers, I have the rivers kind of joining up and getting wider as more rivers join, because that just makes sense. It also allowed me to drop the base level down to about, I believe this area is like 65. And that means that you can build, taller structures without having to worry about the world height limit. It also means you can make pretty epic mountains without having to deal with the world upper limit. Still working on the transition area. As you can see here, I dropped the dirt down a little lower, but I think I need to mix up the texture at the base of this mountains, or I just need to bring the snow level further down the mountains. Right now, the snow level doesn't start, as you'll see up here, until like 200 blocks, which is already pretty high up in the air, but part of that maybe I think I need to come back over and repaint this area. I think I adjusted these mountains and it probably got rid of the snow that I had created in the first place, and I painted over it with rock. But you'll see when we're in the program. Maybe that's one of the things I'll do is so I made this pretty epic mountain range that runs through the whole world. It comes to the center of the world and it loops out in a big circle. Once again, this will all make more sense. I probably should just jump over and show you that, but I wanted to kind of fly around the world some, show you what we got going on. So this is the, foresty, coastal, maybe a New England, United States, New England looking area. Lots of pine trees, wooded areas, rivers, streams. It's a mostly typical Minecraft zone. You go down here further south, we'll fly along. I may cut this part out if it takes too long to fly over here, but maybe we'll just speed it up. But flying down over here, I've also started working on the desert. So next to the foresty tree biome area with the mountains is a huge desert with big dunes. Some of the still working on the it's the first time I've actually loaded in the desert biome, but the cactus paintbrush appears to be a little overzealous. I think I'll have to paint those one at a time or find a better paintbrush. But I don't know, it's kind of interesting cactus formations, I guess. But anyway, I've created some pretty massive pyramids. I'm still playing with the shape I want on those. I want them to be big and epic. I figure I'll build kind of a big settlement. Most of the structure building I want to do during the survival series, but I want to get the general landscape, obviously, with the World Painter app or program. But I have these big dunes, and then if we fly further south here, you'll see the pyramids start. So I want to build a huge desert town and maybe I'll make it look like they're building or repairing the pyramids. I tried to add in some texture, so if we fly to one side of these, it almost looks like the pyramids are crumbling and cracking. Let's see what we got going on here. It's a more extreme example of it over here in this pyramid, I believe. Yeah. So we have this cracking in the earth, and I made texture it up a little bit more. But these are pretty neat. The pyramid tool is pretty easy to use. Once again, I'm going to come back and fix these cactuses. Fly over here. Look at this. I tried to do like a 3-pointed pyramid, so it's like a pyramid that has 2 pyramids on either side of it. it loads in here, you'll see what I'm talking about. It has this like extra layer of depth. This will be like the mega pyramid. Maybe I should shrink down the sides of these. Still playing with what I want for the texture. Right now, this is just sandstone and sand. The World Painter app also, I keep calling it an app, it's a program. The World Painter program allows you to adjust the density and the block types for each thing and paint them accordingly. Also, these pyramids currently are solid stone. Fly into it, my frame rate's gonna go to 0, but it's just solid stone all the way through there. Alright, what else did I want to show you? Oh yeah, I'll show you the cave systems. I think they're pretty epic. It's kind of one of the things I'm most excited about. I've never really liked Minecraft caves in general, but when you see how these things lay out, you can add like a really tall ceiling. So these caves are, 30 blocks wide, 20 blocks high. It's more of a tunnel system that's deteriorated than it is a cave system. But we'll fly over to this pond. And then we're going to do a little fly through the earth action to get into the cave system, and then you'll see what I'm talking about when we get in there. Alright, I believe we have a cave under here. Yes, we do. So we'll fly down and check this out. I got a pro tip, if you're trying to do spectator mode in like caves and stuff, you could take a torch, put it in your offhand, and it'll actually stay lit and light up the area around you as you're flying around in spectator mode, which I feel like could have some pretty cool cave cinematic effect if you were going for that kind of thing. Pull out a torch, go in here, so here you can see we're in a cave. I want to put the torch in my offhand, so we have to go to survival mode, do this, and then we'll hop back into spectate mode, and you'll see, boom, we still have a light source, which, lets you fly around and still be able to see when you're, especially in these caves. I mean, they're a creeper and zombie spawn nightmare because they're continuous, and obviously they're dark. It's gonna make farming diamonds maybe a little easier, but I think I'm okay with that. Diamonds are hard to get, I guess, kind of in survival Minecraft, but once you get going, it's not that big of a deal. So I figured, if diamonds are a little easier to get, I'm not too worried about that. The series is going to be more based around building up towns and villages and the surrounding areas and creating a world with a cohesive background, storyline, theme. I want each area to be unique, but I want them to also be somehow connected across the land. Maybe I'll make trade routes between them, and you'll see like certain elements of one bleeding into the other. I've got a lot of big ideas. We'll see how much of them actually play out and work, but as you can see, you can fly through these caves forever, and they just keep going and going and going. This world is 20,000 blocks across, and I think, I haven't made up my mind completely, but I'm going to make these tunnels connect through most of it, because I like the idea that you could be traveling underground across. Maybe there'll be some lore where it's like an underground civilization and the top ground doesn't even know they exist, and we'll somehow connect them in areas in the world that'll be spilling out into the overland. These might be like bigger dreams than we can accomplish, but like I said, I really want this survival series to go for a long time. I figured if I create the world myself, I'll be pretty happy with how everything looks. There's some difficulties. Actually, let's hop over now. So yeah, the cave system, it's pretty neat. I really like them. You can do different shapes, zigzags. You can make big caverns, small caverns. We'll play around with that some more. I would say that I've probably got, I don't know, 20 hours into this already. And I've done, as you'll see here, the area we were just flying around in was mostly this, and we dipped into the desert this far. So it's a pretty big world. There are some limitations when it comes to World Painter. The trees and environment in general that I generate, the trees will not auto-decay leaves, which is a good thing in this case because the trees are all curated and they're made to look cool. So you want them to, you don't really want to cut them down. So I'll probably have to work into the lore somehow that we'll have like a box full of saplings when we start. And that'll allow us to farm up the different woods we might need to build. A little extra challenge that we'll have to carry, each individual unique sapling around the whole world, because 20,000 blocks, we're not going to want to be running back and forth to that chest with whatever those saplings that spawn there. So that's part of it. Villages, I do not believe will spawn. I can force them to spawn, which I'm undecided. So I can let Minecraft spawn them, but what may happen is they may spawn halfway in a mountain. They may spawn at the bottom of a pond. Minecraft recognizes the world that you generate as part of the, you know, original area before we painted over it. So it thinks this whole thing is just like a giant plains biome. So it'll allow anything that normally spawns in a plains biome to spawn. What that also means is any of the newer dungeons, the underground water fortresses won't spawn here. You know, normal things like raids will still happen, you know, events that rotate around that. The nether, I'm not going to paint the nether, I'm just going to take the nether as it is and we'll just use it. So the nether will still work appropriately. I'm going to have to use the nether to create some kind of a portal system because, once again, this terrain is massive. That was just this bottom corner and it took, you know, 5 minutes to fly across it, so you can imagine walking in survival mode. I think when I generated the program, it said it's going to take like an hour and a half to walk across, so you're not going to be making that trek very often, so a portal system is almost necessary. I'm trying to theme each area. I actually used an online program to generate a fantasy map. One of the other World Painter tutorial guys actually linked to it. It's really cool. Even if you weren't creating a Minecraft map or something in World Painter, it's a good, useful tool if you're just trying to create a fantasy universe and you need, you know, a map. Maps always help when you're trying to theme something and get an idea of north, south, east, west. You know, I'm going to do like warmer in the south, colder in the north, that kind of thing. So let me pull that up real quick. So here is the map. Get an idea. So this is our rocky coastal area where we just were. This is the desert. This is going to be, I think it's going to be more of a rolling hills area on either side of this with sparser trees. This area is pretty wooded. I think I'm going to rolling hills with sparser trees, and I think this is going to be like a savanna area. It doesn't really work in terms of north-south because I don't know if savannas ever meet up against the northern areas, but you have to make some exceptions when you're trying to fit all the biomes you might want to use into one map that, by the way, I can't find a good way to go back and edit, so I have to complete the whole map, and then whatever we get, we have to deal with going forward. There's no going back and editing it. Tried a couple times, it gets corrupted, it's just not worth it. But anyway, we're going to have some kind of a savanna area, a tundra, thinking of magical, so the floating islands, large spikes, pillars, colorful, maybe some mushroom type biome stuff. I'm probably going to cut this corner off. I'm undecided, or I mean, when I say cut it off, I think actually what I'll do is I'll create some kind of a border, and then this will just be naturally generated Minecraft territory, which means it can generate, you know, whatever Minecraft feels like it, and then that'll be a good area maybe if you want to go farm some actual, you know, vanilla Minecraft content. Down here we'll have a jungle, and then up here we'll have an Antarctic. It'll be mostly snow and ice, and I'm thinking about a Game of Thrones style giant ice wall to cap off the top. Should be pretty doable, I believe, based on the generation tools I've seen so far. But yeah, and we also saw I put a little volcano out here. I just thought it was cool, so I did it. I don't know that I'll ever even go out there. It's kind of a big swim, but it is what it is. And yeah, that's it. I'm gonna get back to painting. I may do some live streams of this. It's a process. It takes a long time, and I'm probably gonna start the screen mouth open the whole time I'm doing it. But if you want to come check it out, I think I'm gonna start streaming on YouTube just because I'm already here. I figure, you know, if I'm gonna find people here on YouTube, I might as well stay with them here. I don't want to have to make you guys switch over to Twitch every time I go live, so we're gonna try that for a little while and see how it goes. If you like this video and you want to see this epic survival series in the future, like and subscribe. Comment down below if you've got a good name for this land. I need a cool name for this world, so if you think of something, let me know down in the comments, and that's it for now. Thanks for watching.